I have been craving some Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Veggie Rolls. Welcome back to our channel. If this is your first time stopping by, don't forget to go ahead and click on that subscribe button. It looks like this, and the little notification bell next to it, so that you will be notified every time a new video goes up, which is every Monday, Wednesday, and sweet Saturday, like today. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some old-fashioned donuts. Vegan, of course. I've been craving some old-fashioned donuts for a very, very long time. I used to absolutely love the old-fashioned donuts from Dunkin' Donuts, but of course, I can't have them anymore. So the other day, I was just thinking, craving those donuts, and I'm like, I have to come up with my own recipe for these to make these vegan and delicious. And guess what? I did! So I'm here to share it with you guys, and yeah, let's get veggie. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get started. So first off, in our mixing bowl, we already have 2 1/4 cups of just regular all-purpose flour in there. And then into our dry mix, we're gonna be adding 1 teaspoon of baking powder. We're also gonna be adding in 1/2 cup of granulated sugar and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, all going in there. And the nutmeg is gonna give it that donut taste, so don't skimp out on the nutmeg. And then we're also going to be adding in a pinch of salt, and we're going to go ahead and mix these all together. Wet ingredients, so we have 1/4 cup of non-dairy cream cheese, and this is just regular vegan cream cheese. I also have 2 tablespoons of non-dairy butter. We have 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Usually old-fashioned donuts are made with sour cream, and since we're not using sour cream, I'm not a fan of vegan sour cream. It's always like a tad sweet. We're using the vegan cream cheese, and that little bit of lemon juice is gonna add a little bit of tartness that you would get from the sour cream. And we're also gonna be adding in 3/4 cup of unsweetened almond milk. And I'm also eyeballing 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can measure it, of course, to get an exact measurement. And we're just gonna mix this all together until it forms a nice dough. And making sure you have nice clean hands. Once the dough comes together, you can go ahead and start kneading it. And I'm just transferring the dough over to my cutting board. You could lightly flour your surface, but since I already have some flour from the bottom of our mixing bowl, I'm gonna use that. And we're just gonna lightly knead this dough. You don't wanna go too crazy because you don't want to end up with really tough donuts. I'm gonna add a sprinkle of flour over top and to the bottom because my dough is still a little bit sticky. And I'm just kneading my dough for about 3 or 4 minutes. I know some people, when they're doing old-fashioned donuts, they'll chill the dough, which you can do, chill the dough, and it'll be a little easier to work with. But I just add a little extra flour and make it work. So we're gonna go ahead and roll out our dough. I've just gone ahead and lightly covered my rolling pin with a little bit of flour just to prevent any sticking. And we're gonna roll this out to about 1/2 inch in thickness. Doesn't have to be perfect. Next, we're gonna be making our actual donuts and cutting these into the shapes. And instead of using like a cookie cutter, I always keep on hand just an old or empty can, like bean can, and I just empty it out, clean it out really well, and cut both ends. You just gotta make sure you get the right can that you could actually cut both ends out of, open the both ends from. Some you can't. And I'm gonna form just like a pre-cut circles here, just to make sure that I'm getting the most I can get from our dough before we actually cut it. All right. And then I'm gonna go ahead and cut the donuts. So yeah, these are actually about 1/4 of an inch in thickness. All right, so we have our donuts cut out. And of course, we're gonna re-roll this. And we're also gonna turn these little extra pieces into more donuts because why would we waste perfectly good donut dough? All right, and I'm just gonna place it into my mixing bowl in the meantime. And I have a tiny little cookie cutter to make the circles or the donut holes. We're gonna cook these in vegetable oil, and I've just tossed in some vegetable oil into my pan, and you just want enough oil to cover kind of like halfway through that. You don't have to deep fry these because these will float up to the top anyways. So we're gonna go ahead and fry these, but quickly I wanted to point out this this pan that I'm using. I'm not being sponsored. This is not a sponsored video, but I did want to point out this company because they were nice enough to send me this ceramic cookware set, which I absolutely love because it's non-stick and it's super pretty to look at. And it has like this little soup-de-loop, so you could look like a little professional cook or chef by flipping stuff if you like. I'll link them down below. The company name is Vremi or Vremi. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, to be honest. I probably should have asked. But yeah, I'll link their Amazon link below. It's not an affiliate link, and I'm not being paid for it in any way. But I just wanted to share it with you guys because they shared it with me. So, but anywho's, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and just dropping in one of the donut holes in here. Oh, also they have different colors, which I think is cool. I'm dropping off one of the donut holes in just to see once it floats up. That's when I know that our oil is ready. All right, so once this is floating, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting in the rest of our donuts. And like I said, you want to make sure your heat is at about a medium, I would say like medium high heat. And we're gonna go ahead and toss these in, and they're gonna go to the bottom for the first couple seconds, and then they're gonna float back up. And I'm not exactly sure how you would bake these because baking donuts is like a total different thing. It's kind of like making a cake. And I wanted actual donuts, so we're frying these. All right, so just add a couple at a time. You don't want to like overcrowd the pan. And what I'm gonna be doing with these is, oh, they look like pineapple. And we're gonna cook these are gonna be cooking here for about 2 minutes. And we're gonna flip them for 30 seconds per side. So you're gonna cook 1 minute on one side and another minute on another side, but you're gonna flip it halfway through that minute, if that makes any sense at all. So it's been about 30 seconds, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip these. So yeah, we're gonna flip these 2 more times. This is once, and then we're gonna flip them again. And this is just to make sure that they cook nice and even all the way through. And then that last kind of like flip, they're gonna brown. So we're gonna flip these, and you see this nice golden donut color. This is the color that you're looking for. That's why you don't wanna exactly, I guess, follow like 30 seconds and then flip and flip and flip. You wanna cook about 1 minute to 2 minutes per side. And depending on how fast they're browning or cooking, that's how, you know, you'll determine how much you wanna flip these. Also, because I don't usually use a thermometer when I'm frying things, I guess that would be helpful to tell you guys exactly the temperature. But like I said, you just want to make sure that these are cooked about 1 minute or 2 per side, and then you want to flip them when they become nice and golden. And we're going to go ahead and remove these from the oil. And you can just place these into a paper towel lined plate. So we're gonna be icing these, and somehow I was not filming while I was doing our icing here, but into the icing batter, all I did was I put 2 cups of powdered sugar and 1/3 cup of unsweetened almond milk, and just mix this up really well until everything got well combined. I also let our donuts cool off just so we can move them around and touch them, and so our icing is not falling off of them. If they're too hot, the icing won't stick. And then we're just gonna coat every single one of these and set them aside. Also, if you like, you can add a little bit of strawberry preserves or any kind of jam you would like, just a little bit into your icing, and then it'll add some color and some extra flavor. I'm just placing these to the side to dry on a plate. You can also double frost these and come back in once they're a bit dry and frost them again. Like these guys are already drying up, so you can go ahead and Frosties again if you want them to be nice and coated really well. All right, guys, you know what time it is. It's time for the taste test cam. And these guys aren't even dry all the way yet, but I'm so ready to dive into this. I know I said place it on a plate when you glaze them, but what you actually want to do is put them on a rack, because you'll end up with like a little puddle of glaze, and they'll be sitting in the glaze and they won't dry. So just put them on like a cooling rack, and then just put something underneath it to catch like the dripping from it. But yeah, oh my goodness, I'm so ready to break into this. Here we go. Oh my goodness. It's not even dry all the way, but I'm just so ready for this. Oh. Oh yes. These are so incredibly delicious. You can give these to anyone. No one will ever know that these are vegan. What I love about these so much is that they're not your typical donut. They are old-fashioned donuts, which are usually like a little crispier on the outside. I love it so much. If you guys don't like it too crispy, fry it a little less. If you guys want them more crispy, fry them a little more. It's a personal preference. Once you make your first batch, you'll know, kind of how to adjust it. They're so good. They're so good. So that's it, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to share this video so other people can see how delicious vegan food could be. Also, don't forget to tag me on Instagram if you make this recipe or any of my other recipes. I would love to see what you made, and I would love to know what you think about it. And yeah, I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye, guys.